When you hire stupid people, you get stupid appearances on the Sunday shows. Well, not when you hire stupid people. Your employees, I assume, aren't going on Kristen Welker's Meet the Press all the time. But when you're Donald Trump and you're a dumb guy, you hire dumb people because those people, they lift you up. They kiss your ass. They bend the knee to try to make you look smarter than you are. I guess that would explain why he surrounds himself with such idiots. It's because it makes him look, by comparison, a little better. I have 3 clips here of Peter Navarro. One very brief, because I'm going to cut out all of the yammering and lying and propagandizing these decisions about the tariffs. And then I'm going to play what the end answer was, where he's saying there's no exemptions, even though the tariffs are on again, then off again, then on again, then paused, but not really paused. And then, there's going to be electronic carve-outs and exceptions, except no, that's not going to be the case. It brings no certainty to markets that are already spooked. And that's what you need. Listen, when you're investing long-term, you want certainty. You want stability. You don't want this. I've got multiple of these on my desk because it's such a chaotic nightmare in the markets right now. But this one is from just a few moments ago, and I have highlighted here the date that Joe Biden was elected president, or the last market closed before Joe Biden was left as president of the United States, before Donald Trump was inaugurated. January 17th was that day, when the market was at 43,487. 43,500. And now we're 3,000 points below that, and that's after it came back after it crashed. And that's the third clip, is Peter Navarro here saying, we saw a historic rally. The stock market's never done what it did before. As though giving credit to Donald Trump for a mild recovery after a crash is something he should be doing on national television. Anyway, here he is explaining how there were no exemptions, and we'll cut him off before he rambles, before we go back to him really in a confusing way try to explain how even the White House saying there was exemptions was wrong. Here's this short clip.
Look, you're talking about the fact that the White House has a strategy. The Commerce Secretary, the Treasury Secretary, the President himself said there would not be exclusions, and yet just yesterday there were exclusions. So is there, in fact, a plan, or is the president making this up as he goes along?
So the policy is no exemptions, no exclusions. The policy is in effect. No, there were not exclusions. Yes. Let me explain.
Okay.
So the policy is no exemptions, no exclusions, except there is. There are many. When you put people like this who are absolutely soulless, who have no restrictions morally about lying, this is what you get. Peter Navarro is just a liar, a convicted liar. I don't know if he was convicted for lying. He was convicted for contempt of Congress. It's muddy waters over here with these Trump people. So he goes in to explain, and then it's a bunch of nonsense talking about AI and tech firms and how it was an artificial market. And yes, the policy is cohesive, and this was the plan all along. It's just beyond ridiculous. It strains even the most ridiculous scenario. It strains that it's even a believable item here. So we come back in after he gives all of his nonsense answers, and Kristen Welker once again mentions the exclusions or the exceptions to the tariffs. And he once again pushes back, and she has the wherewithal, for once, to say, actually, the White House has said that these are exempted. And then he doesn't know what to say. Watch this, and then we'll talk about it on the other side.
Fair enough. I hear what you're saying on investigation, but there is currently an exclusion for some of those products.
You want to call it an exclusion, potatoes.
No, it's not.
What it is.
The White House called it an exclusion.
Well, but let's say, here's, I think, another thing that's really important. When people talk about the chaos or lack of strategy, whatever, you just go back to day one. I was there when the president signed it. It was the second to last order he signed. It was in the Oval that night. And it was the America First trade policy, which laid out every single thing we're doing. And it would be remiss for anybody in the media not to review that carefully and see that there's rhyme to our reason and rhythm to what we're doing.
Yeah, but now the administration is actually on its website saying that they're offering refunds for some of these products. But let's talk about day one.
Sure.
That is a man who does not need a camera in front of him or a microphone in front of him. This is a guy who's not ready for prime time, but this is a guy who Jared Kushner did a Google search or an Amazon book search about whatever topic Donald Trump had in his head at the time, and this is the expert they landed on. Peter Navarro, who is absolutely just a bootlicking lapdog sycophant for Donald Trump, who is just feels so lucky to have any role whatsoever anywhere. To be a Walmart greeter would be a promotion of character for this guy. He doesn't even deserve that. Here is him trying to convince America. I mean, initially he's trying to convince Kristen Welker, and then by extension the audience, that Donald Trump should be given massive credit for the rally. But why was there even a rally? Why was it necessary, Pete? You never explained that. Anyway, watch this.
Mr. Navarro, look,
Sure.
after the president's policies were announced, we did see the markets drop. The bond market was spooked. Consumer confidence has plummeted, and inflation fears are at the highest level since 1981. Let me just ask you.
But we did have the greatest rally in stock market history for many, many decades this last week.
But they're down from when the president announced his policies overall. Let me ask you, so that we can get this information to folks. Sure. Give me the top line number. How many countries is the administration currently negotiating with to get a trade deal?
Well, let me see how many I can do. And remember, Kristen, we talked offline about this. We started doing this long before we announced the pause in the reciprocal tariffs in anticipation of this. So we've got the UK, we've got the EU, we've got India, we've got Japan, we've got North Korea, we've got Indonesia, we've got Israel, and they're just lining up outside the door of Jamieson Greer. The trade rep, Howard Lutnick, is very much a part of that. South Korea.
South Korea. Okay, yes. Okay, I just want to make sure there.
Look, some of these little slips of the tongue I would normally overlook because people deserve the benefit of the doubt. These people don't deserve the benefit of the doubt. He's got North Korea on the brain. I have no idea why he would even have North Korea in his head relative to talking about potential trading partners with the United States. But for him to point at the rally, there was the only need for a rally was because the market collapsed because of Donald Trump. Every expert said, if you do this, the market's going to tank. Everyone. And when it happened, he reversed course, created exemptions, and the market bounced a little bit back, but not even to where it was before Joe Biden left office. Donald Trump is an economic catastrophe, a walking Great Depression. He's leading us to economic doom, and people like Peter Navarro are here for it because he's got a job. Otherwise, what would he be doing? Anyway, what do you think about this? I invite you to this conversation. You can comment below. You can also call the voicemail line, 714-576-4054. And of course, as always, you can email me daily@dollemore.com. I appreciate you very much. Please consider supporting this work if you appreciate what I do or the manner with which I do it or whatever. Click the join button below. For $2 a month, you can become a channel member, or you can go over to patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast. Same deal, $2 a month. You can help support the work and produce these videos and our podcast. You can join us in doing that. I would appreciate it very much. Anyway, follow me on social media. If you're already there, do not sign up to follow me. That is miserable. @Dollemore is where I can be found. I'd love to see you, and I will see you next time. Until then, be genuine. Take care of one another.